So we are in the middle of division. I know some of you, when you hear the word division, you're like, ugh, if kids could only understand, it's just multiplying. If they know how to multiply, division is basically the opposite. We have a competition going on amongst our fourth graders, our fourth grade classes, and I am hoping to make the most growth. And the class that wins gets in and out. Okay, I am going to show you what I'm using to review for this interim assessment that we are taking on Thursday, as well as what is it that I'm doing for division to help my students master that standard. I'm going to have what I call my three-ring circus, having different groups of students working on different skills. One group will be working on division, either using their manipulatives or using their multiplication chart, or some can independently work and they may use the tools to help them to verify their responses. I'm going to have another group working on the NBT standards, and these are my IAB spiral review students. And what I've done is I've created examples that they would see on the IAB or the Smarter Balance Assessment, and that focuses in on all the NBT standards for fourth grade. So I've created this packet of review. And they're going to work on this. So together with their partner and have some conversations as to the responses that they have chosen. In my group, I'm going to continue with division, and you will see the different levels of students. All right, so let's go through this. All right, we want to get to 955 as close as possible. And you guys are really good at multiplication. So like think of all your friendly numbers. So what are we going to multiply 4 by to get us close to how much, Jacob? 200. All right, so we know those. Okay, so it'd be 800. Why didn't you go with 100? Because it would be what, Victor? 400. So which is closer, 400 or 800? 800. All right, so I'm going to box this around.
And that's going to do 155.
Okay, so as I subtract, what am I? 155, okay. Okay, where do I go from here?
What about 30?
Okay, so I'm going to write out on the side 4 times 30.
That equals 120.
Okay, 120. But can we check? Can we go higher than 30 just to double check?
40?
Okay.
Well, 40 is going to be 106.
Okay, so is that over the 155? Yeah. Okay, so we're going to use 30 then.
That equals 35.
All right, and then you subtracted, and what did you get? 35? Okay.
35. And the closest possible you could get is 4 times 8.
So you're saying 4 times 8?
Yeah,
okay.
And that equals 32. So 35 minus 32 is 3. So your answer is 238, remainder 3.
Okay, so you said 238, and then we have our remainder 3. Okay. All right, so we have 95 total, and we're going to put those into 4 equal groups.
Okay, these are the remainder.
Okay, so Isabel, what do you have left?
I have a 10 left.
And remember I talked about remainders? Can we have that large of a number left over?
Mm-hmm.
We can have 11 left over? No. Okay, so what do we already know that we learned from the start of the year? What can we do with those 10s?
Round.
What can we do with that 10?
We could break them up into ones.
We can break them up into ones. We can
So we need-
regroup them. And so how many ones are we going to need?
10.
10. Okay, go. Isabel, what are you going to do with those ones? Okay, you're going to keep going. All right, do we have the same amount in each group? You got to check first. So what would be another way to arrange that so that you could see that there's an equal amount in each group? Okay, and then what do you have there? So what do we call those? A remainder. So then I noticed that you drew 4 squares there, or 4 rectangles. So what response is going to go in each rectangle? Okay, so do that. Okay, and so what do we call that? Our remainder. Okay, so I noticed Isabel drew 4 groups, so I'm going to model what she did. So if we have 95 and we put them into 4 groups, Isabel counted 23 in each. So 23, remainder, what did we say again? 3. All right.
Why is your 2 so much?
And that this is test day, and we don't have our manipulatives. So now we're going to have to rely on our scratch paper and what we know up here. Okay, so the 4 would represent the roses, and then the box would be the what?
The 10s.
The box would be the what?
The vase.
The vase. How could we organize this as we're counting by multiples of 4? 10s, or what's half of 10? 5s. Okay. So do I have 4 groups of 5?
Yeah.
Okay. So then that's what? What would the multiplication sentence be? That's 1 row. So how many are there in the entire row? 20. Are we close to 95 roses yet? No? Okay, you keep doing it. Let's see what you come up with.
Wait.
All right, so Genesis, when do you know you're going to stop? Okay, go ahead. Let's see.
Can I get my multiplication chart in there?
Okay.
92.
All right, so,
And then we're trying to get 95.
okay.
20.
20, and then aren't these vases?
Yeah.
How many altogether?
23.
23, isn't that the same as the one above here? So, right, 23 is your quotient. And what was your remainder?
Remainder 3.
3. So do you see how you get the same answers? The same quotient for both? And they're both the same division problem, but you solve them differently, right? It just depends on how or what the word problem is going to look like on the test, all right? This one was asking to do what?
To put all of the words.
To put what inside? What does the 4 represent?
How much flowers there are in the vase?
How much flowers there are in a vase. And then this 4 was about a field trip, and then what did the 4 represent?
How many buses?
How many buses, and then what's the 23 represent?
How much students?
How many students? So what I'm trying to get you guys to realize that no matter what the word problem is, you can solve it either way, and you will still get the same quotient. Do you see that? So when we take our tests, are we going to have those? No, we're not. So we have to learn another way. So we can draw them out like that. So that's another strategy. Okay, so you do what feels comfortable. And I know some of you are using your multiplication chart to count your multiples of 4, and that's fine, right? Because the more you use your multiplication chart, what's going to happen? You are going to ultimately memorize it in your head because you're practicing it in class. Now, I know I get myself all worked up about division, and I feel like they have to master it at this moment. But I have to sit back and tell myself these are standards that they need to meet by the end of the year, not this moment in November.